The number octane you should use in your dirt bike really depends on what type of specific bike you actually have. So for example, if you have an air-cooled 4-stroke trail bike like the Honda CRF 250F, the Kawasaki KLX 230R, those can run totally fine on regular 87 octane pump gas. However, if you have a race bike like a YZ250F 4-stroke motocross bike, or like a KTM 250 XC 2-stroke enduro bike, those bikes have higher compression engines, which means they need higher octane so they don't detonate and cause damage to your engine. And those typically require at least 91 or 93 octane here in the US. However, some people believe that just running higher octane will make your bike more powerful. It'll increase the horsepower. But just octane alone simply won't do that, at least not for a stock engine. You see, each manufacturer designed each bike to run on a specific octane. So if you run a higher octane than what is recommended, it's not going to have more power, and it actually could have less power. This is because, at least the way I understand it, the higher the octane, the slower the fuel is going to burn. This means that going from like an 87 octane to a 93 octane, your bike is actually going to run richer because it's not able to burn that fuel as quickly. More fuel, I believe, will be staying in the engine, so less gas is being ignited and burned out the exhaust, so it's going to run richer. It's getting too much fuel and not enough air to efficiently burn that fuel mixture. So if you change the octane rating of the fuel that you're using, you're typically going to have to lean out the jetting. That is, if you don't do anything else to the tuning or the engine or the exhaust. So why do some people run higher octane? Well, there's a few different reasons. One, the compression ratio of their engine is higher than stock. So you might have noticed that you can buy a high compression piston or a high compression head. This can increase torque and horsepower. It's more likely to detonate, which simply means that it's going to create too big of an explosion for how much the fuel can handle. And if you have a better explanation, please let us know in the comments below. But basically, it's burning too quickly and the engine is getting too hot for it to handle. So it's going to detonate and start to overheat and melt away the top end, like the piston. You might see a hole starting in the top of the piston and it's going to lose compression. Other people may use higher octane because it's in race fuel or avgas, and those are typically more stable or consistent, and it typically lasts longer than pump gas before breaking down and causing problems. So if you need super crisp, reliable, consistent throttle response, then running a race gas or avgas can give that to you, but you may need to tune it for that higher octane. So then why do some race fuels claim 3 to 5% more horsepower just by changing their fuel? Well, this isn't because of the octane rating going from like 91 to 110 octane. This is because of the other additives in the fuel that will increase the horsepower, but only after proper tuning. But to get that extra 3 to 5% horsepower is really expensive because a lot of race fuels cost $10, $15, $20, $30 per gallon. If you're going through a few gallons a day, that's expensive, especially if you're just barely making ends meet and you just want to go ride on the weekend for fun. So if you want to know if your dirt bike is running rich or lean but aren't sure which one it was, I got a free guide that shows the 6 alarming signs that your dirt bike is running too rich or too lean. You can grab that in the description below. I'm Kelly Figure from MX Hideout. Ride safe, have fun.